It's unfortunate. We're going to have to put him on the bench. It's all right. We're live now, the Combat Sports Podcast. Sean Fowler, Jansen Harris, Fury Wilder. Crazy bout. Fury won the third fight. Sean, what are your thoughts? What was your reaction to the fight? What were you thinking? What was your reaction to the fight?
Well, first off, I want to say thank you, Jansen, because remember watching the fight, man. You got the fight, you video chatted. I wanted to see it, and I pretty much got to watch because of you guys. So thank you for helping me watch the fight. but no, man. I mean, Fury, like I had him winning after the second fight. I was like, he's gonna win again. I just think he's a better boxer. Something about he's just a better pure boxer. We know that Deontay Wilder, he got a new trainer. He looked better. I believe this fight than the second one. He was jabbing to the body early the first round, and it could have went either way. But I was like, you know what? It was a good technique because obviously the bronze bomber, his right hand, you know what I mean? If you go to the body low, come over the top with your right hand, I mean, it could spell victory for Wilder, different type of approach. But eventually, man, Fury made adjustments. He knocked him down the third round. I actually just rewatched the fight again about not too long ago today. And Fury was just dominant, man. I mean, it was a great fight because there was multiple knockdowns, kind of like the first fight, even though Fury got knocked down twice, but he seemed like he pretty much won the rest of the rounds in the first fight. Second fight, obviously dominated. And this fight pretty much the same, man. So I just look like another onslaught by Fury. Wilder didn't quit. He still landed. Even when he got knocked down, he came up, he was throwing combos, and he really tried, man. Like I give Wilder respect. He really tried. He didn't throw in the towel. He just got knocked out. And he went down swinging. So I really I enjoyed the fight, man. And I'll say this, Jansen, out of say the 30 rounds that they fought in the three fights, I say Fury won about 23 to 24 rounds. That's what I think.
Wow. Entering the chat right now, how are you, Carrie? You doing all right?
Yes. And okay.
That's great. Wanted to ask you, what were your thoughts on the Fury Wilder third fight? Were you shocked? What's your honest reaction on that?
My honest reaction to the Fury versus Wilder fight would be the comeback of Mr. Fury. He overall, I feel like he won the fight. I feel like Wilder came in strong, very energetic, throwing his punches in very fast, very quick. He'll get really riled up, but I feel like he got when it got towards the end, and that's how the outcome became what it was, because I feel like Fury used all that energy, that calm energy, just for the result, and that's why he ended up, having more hits than Wilder.
Look, I agree with you. I thought Fury had that energy. Fury, he was pretty accurate too, Sean and Carrie, and he landed 43% of his punches. 43% of his body punches, 39% total of his punches. But he was accurate. He showed people, look, I could throw uppercuts. I could throw hooks. I could move around. Even though Fury came in there looking out of shape, looking 20 pounds more than he looked before. That's why I picked Wilder. Because I was like, Fury doesn't look like he's been training. Fury looks like he wanted Anthony Joshua. And because the court said, no, you have to fight Wilder again. And we all know how Wilder talks and the redemption and all the deep sayings. And he basically makes it seem like he's going to kill literally Tyson Fury. And it didn't happen. And Fury was like, I'm gonna punish you. I'm gonna put you in retirement. And look, maybe he did. Wilder only landed 9% of his jabs. I did love Wilder's energy in the beginning. Carrie, and I agree with you. That was a solid point. I agree that energy, his willingness to go to the body, it looked different. But what concerned me about Wilder, what disappointed me about Wilder was his conditioning. Wilder has a great body. He was physically fit. He looked like he was running every day. He was on a salad diet. Tyson Fury looked like he was in the buffet every day. Me and him at the buffet every day. But yet he still looked like he had more stamina. He was in control most of the fight. He landed nearly double the punches. I agree with you, Sean, that he won most of the rounds. Maybe, and I don't know. And I want to ask you this, Sean. Do you think maybe we overrated Wilder, or did we underrate how dominant Tyson Fury was?
I mean, I can't say overrated Wilder because we understand, his right hand is lethal, and he knocked down Tyson Fury twice in the first fight. That's the reason why I got a draw, to be honest. And even in this fight, he knocked him down twice as well. So I don't think necessarily we just always knew that Deontay Wilder's power, it gives you a puncher's chance, but with his right hand, it can catch you by surprise if it's the last round of the fight and potential, it could be a potential knockout. So I mean, I don't think we necessarily. I understand why we give Wilder's credit, but also, with Tyson Fury, like I said, coming into it, man, it's some guys who just have that it factor, man. It's something with Fury, like you said. He could look out of shape, but he has the intellect, man. He doesn't have to always have the best punching power, but he knows how to land shots, like you mentioned as well. 43% hyper, whatever the percentage was, he's accurate. You know what I mean? And when it comes to winning and getting up, let's not forget, like. I don't really remember too many people who Deontay Wilder knocked down that got back up and continued to fight. Fury got knocked down 4 times in his trilogy against Wilder, and he finished the fight. He looked even better after getting up. So we just got to give Fury more respect. If we did underrate him, and hey, I think he's the best heavyweight and one of the best heavyweights of all time, to be honest.
Great breakdown, Sean. I'm here with Sean and Carrion. This is the Combat Sports Podcast. We're sponsored by Your Future Media and the Level 1 Game Room. I'll be on Sean's podcast a little bit later on Black Love. We're going to talk about a lot of things. Hopefully I'm not too controversial on the show. But, Carrion, let's go to you with this. Is Deontay Wilder overrated, or is Tyson Fury just that great?
I would go with the overrated version because it's not his first time. Not taking a loss, receiving a loss just like he did with this one. It's not the first time. And I don't know if it'll be the last time. So maybe we did underestimate Fury because I feel like he was very intimidative. Also, like when you could tell by the punches, he just kept the same. His eyes just wide open and just, just ready. He just had that in very like horror look in his face, which I probably would have been scared too if I was in the ring with him too. So I would go with the Wilder overrated.
Okay. Look, when I look at this, I'm concerned about Wilder's mental health. And when I say that, I'm talking about his mental health and willingness to, at 35, which isn't too old, for him to come back. Why am I saying this? Because it looked like he was devastated, surprised. Looks like he's going to have to pick himself back up. 20 months away from the sport. And look, I don't know if he could rebound. I wouldn't be surprised if Wilder, and people are saying, oh, what's next for Wilder? I don't know when we're going to see Wilder again. I don't know if we see Wilder until 2023. I think it's that devastating. And as for Tyson Fury, I think maybe I underrated him because what was impressive, Carrion and Sean, about Tyson Fury is his mind was on AJ. He wanted Anthony Joshua. I know for a fact Anthony Joshua, who to me, he's about that bread. He's about his money. He wanted Fury as well, too. So Tyson Fury, man, much respect to him. I look at him as an all-time great heavyweight. People are saying, well, go beat Usyk. He's going to be a huge favorite against Usyk. All the confidence in the world because he's going around saying, I beat Wilder the first time I outboxed him. I knocked his behind out the second time. And I did it the third time for all the critics. What's the excuse? In one of the all-time great trilogies, there is no excuse. What we saw Saturday was 2 alpha males, 2 guys thinking they're king of the jungle, and 1 guy was superior. And that was Tyson Fury. There's no excuses. There's no, the armor, I was hurt. It was 5 knockdowns. And even Wilder, he wasn't able to land that clean right hand that we're used to seeing. I'm used to seeing Wilder just knock guys out cold, intimidate guys. For some reason, Tyson Fury just isn't scared of Deontay Wilder. He said, if I could avoid the right hand, which he did most of the night, was caught twice, he could get back up. There was a little bit of controversy, which I wouldn't be surprised if Wilder's team comes out and says it. Oh, well, the count was a little slow when Fury got knocked down. But again, I don't want to hear any excuses. Would I love to see the fight happen again for some odd reason? Yes.
No.
I know it's not going to happen. And
No.
I'm questioning. It was such a great fight. I want to see it again personally. But I'm questioning if Deontay Wilder will be back. I'm hearing Joe Burke. Thanks for the question. Wilder will be back in 2022, no doubt. There are other matchups available immediately. His heart is bigger than his right hand. I hope so. I hope so. Because he didn't even look like he wanted to talk to the media. Tyson Fury said it himself. He was looking for respect. Like, we went to war together. How about a congratulations? He was the better man. That's what I was looking for too. Like Anthony Joshua. And maybe his team came out and is saying something different, whatever. There's all these media guys. Everybody got something to say afterwards. But he took his loss like a man to Usyk. Seemed like he didn't – I'm not going to say he didn't prepare for him, but he wasn't ready. Usyk was the ring general. He seemed like the better fighter. I was shocked because Anthony Joshua is so much bigger than him. Usyk, to me, isn't even a true heavyweight. So I was shocked. But that brings me to the next question. Let's talk about Usyk and Anthony Joshua, too. Sean, I'll start with you on this one. Is this sounding and seeming like maybe Anthony Joshua, when he lost to Ruiz and got knocked out, he came back a better fighter? He lost to Usyk. He didn't get knocked out, but he might as well have got knocked out because to me he was embarrassed in the ring, and Usyk took him to school. That's what it looked like to me. He took him to school, looked the smarter fighter, the better fighter, more prepared. He took the fight seriously. Do you see Joshua bouncing back against Usyk? We don't have a fight date right now. It's a little bit early, but do you see him bouncing back like he did against Andrew Ruiz Jr.?
I hope so. I believe a lot of people want to see, the Joshua and Fury fight. So hopefully, you can't fight Fury and you're coming off a loss, So I hope he does bounce back against Usyk, and we understand, remember the first time against Andy Ruiz, everybody didn't expect him to win, but that was Joshua's first loss, I believe, but he bounced back the second time and beat him. So hopefully that's the case with Anthony Joshua. As far as the build and everything, guy looks, he's chiseled, you know what I mean? Over 6'5", I believe, body, everything looks great, man. So I would love to see a Joshua Fury fight. So I really do hope that, he can come back and beat Usyk, and we get a Fury Joshua fight. So I'm hoping, man.
Carrion, we seen it and we talked a little bit about it. Usyk, he shocked the world. He has 3 belts now. He feels like the best heavyweight in the world. He's ranked number 2 in a lot of people's lists. Do I think he's the second best heavyweight? I don't know. I do give him credit for beating Joshua, though. I did not see that happening. Joshua, I've criticized him for being passive. He did man up and say, okay, I lost, I'll bounce back, but he's a little bit too passive for me. I thought he should have been more aggressive in the championship matches. Darn it, defends your championship. I didn't feel the same way I felt about Wilder. It fought desperate, fought like, yo, I gotta survive. Joshua was like, so what? I lost. Big deal. I'll come back and win. Do you see Joshua coming back and winning? Same question as asked Sean, like he did against Ruiz Jr. in the second fight against Usyk?
I believe that Joshua can come back with the rematch. His only downfall would be, like I said, like same with Walter Wilder. He came out energetic, kind of lost his cool, got spoiled a little bit, and that's how he ended up losing the game.
I feel you on that. Look, I can't wait. It's going to be another big money fight. Joshua, to me, and I'm not hating on his heart, but he's starting to feel like a businessman to me. It's starting to become a trend. He got that hero complex going on, superhero thing, and maybe it's working. He lose, he come back, he wins. Is this like some type of buildup? I don't know. I thought he would have been more aggressive because this is costing him money. He could have got the Fury fight. But I think Joshua has the advantage. I think Joshua is going to go back to the lab. He's going to do something different. He's going to look like a complete different fighter. I'm saying this now. Joshua will knock out Usyk in the rematch. I don't know if that's a hot take or what. I'm assuming Anthony Joshua is going to come in the favorite. But Anthony Joshua, just like he did against Ruiz Jr., even though I do believe Usyk is more talented than Andrew Ruiz Jr., obviously, he was undisputed at cruiserweight. I think Joshua will pound and knock out Usyk in the rematch because he knows that is his behind. if he loses that fight.
Yeah.
Because he still wants Tyson Fury maybe in 2023, 2024, if Fury feels like sticking around. Because if I'm Fury at 33 years old, I'm saying, you fighters need to do something. I don't have to prove anything. I went to war with one of the most feared boxers on the planet. People fear Deontay Wilder. At least they used to before this trilogy. That was 3 wars we experienced, which that's why I'm questioning Wilder a little bit. But if I'm Fury, to me, Fury has nothing to prove. He needs to sit back, kick back, and relax. While Usyk and Joshua got Usyk problems, he needs to take care of him. And then maybe we can talk about that fight in 2023 or 2024. Let's talk about Gervonta Tank Davis. He's going to be fighting Rolly Romeo. Look, this is going to be a great press conference to me because and the build up to this fight because you got 2 trash talkers. Rolly, I like Rolly. I'm falling in love with Rolly. He has a lot of holes in his game. Now his defense is the level of competition is but he got some power, man. He got a lot of heart. Talks a lot of crap. I like guys like that. I like him. Do I think he has a shot in this fight? Probably not. But he's going to have opportunities to show, which he said he has more power than Gervonta Davis. He says that Devin Haney's overrated. He craps on all these guys, basically. If you go back and watch the interviews, Fight Hype, wherever you want to watch it on YouTube. I like this matchup. However, I'm scared for him because I think by the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round, because he has holes in his technique and his defense, that Gervonta Tank Davis can put him away. But I love his confidence. I love his confidence. There's some tweets he said that I can't really say on air, which is like, wow, you're that confident. But to sum it all up, he says he's going to knock Gervonta Tank Davis out in the 1st round. I doubt it, but we'll see what happens. Sean, what's your thoughts on this matchup? Are you excited for this fight, or is this something you're like, hit the snooze button?
Any Tank Davis fight, I'm almost excited for, and it's coming up pretty soon. But I'll say 3rd round. I'm gonna say the 3rd round. Anytime any boxer says 1st round KOs, I mean, come on. I mean, it's just trash talk now. You know what I mean? I don't believe it. I mean, and by you even saying his defense is sort of suspect, the Tank is gonna see it. He's gonna knock him down. And Tank doesn't just knock people down; he knocks him out. So I'll say by round 3. Tank is going to have the victory.
Carrying this matchup, and we added this question a little bit later on. Davis, Rolly, are you excited for this fight? Is this something you're going to like, okay, let me put my eyes on this. Somebody's going to get knocked out. I do think Rolly got some power. Many people I've spoke to, they're not high on Rolly. They think he's more trash talk than substance. I'm happy that Mayweather, you got 2 of his fighters to fight each other. Look, I think Tank Davis wanted this fight because of the buildup, all the hype about how good Rolly might be. It's a 50-50 thing how people feel about Rolly. How do you feel about this matchup? Is this something that we need to watch and pay attention to, or do we just need to hit the snooze button because it's more hype than what it is?
I don't think we should snooze button on this because this is very because they are like trash talker and Riley. I feel like he says the most and doesn't really have the credentials to back it up. So to see, the match, Monte, I really want to see him back words up. It's just show other boxers.
Absolutely. Look, if you're Rolly, even let's say you don't win the fight. If you could get through all 12 rounds, you could look good. Maybe you lose by split decision. This is going to help his popularity out because a lot of casual boxing fans, they might not know who he is, but a lot of hardcore people, they're starting to know who he is, mainly because of the trash talking. He's doing all the interviews. He's saying a lot of crazy stuff. Again, I can't say it on this air, but you guys go on YouTube. It's pretty entertaining. It's pretty entertaining. I do love his confidence. Hopefully, he really believes in his power because there's going to be opportunities too. I love watching Tank Davis because he's a true knockout artist, one of the hardest hitters in boxing. But I will say, when you look at the Barrios fight, the Cruz fight, they got some good hits on him. They were able to land a little bit, eye a little puffy. There's holes in Gervonta Davis's defense. He makes up for it with his power. He's an athletic guy. He's tough, got a good chin. But Rolly, if you really have that power, because he said he has more power, there's going to be opportunities for you. Can't wait for that fight. Going into the final question, Kerry, and I'll start with you. The great Manny Pacquiao, only 8 division champion. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately because I was rooting for him. He lost to you guys, and he was flirting with the idea of retirement, and now he is retired. Are you buying that he stays retired? Do you think it's the last we've seen of Pacquiao, or do you think he comes back again for another fight? Maybe with the Terrence Crawford or Errol Spence Jr. I don't know. Maybe I just want to see more Pacquiao. I'm just not letting go. Or do you think Pacquiao's done?
I feel like Pacquiao is on about to put back going for so long. I hear he's about to trying to run. And I think that so him coming back, I don't know appropriate what he's trying to do. I'm happy that he's doing like running for president, basically. Yeah, I think that's
absolutely, and that's a lot of responsibility right there. So that maybe that's a big hint that hey, it's over. I'm a politician now, so I'm going to boost my fighters up on Manny Pacquiao Promotions, which he got some young guys with a lot of talent that he's put on his cards. Which congratulations to him for doing that. It's a real big step. Sean, we've been watching Pacquiao for since you were in middle school, maybe even elementary school, where you followed his whole career. Is this the end of the road, Sean, or are we going to see more Manny Pacquiao?
I still think I think I want to say no. I could see him doing one more fight, but at the same time, I mean, with Pacquiao, you got to think as well. I mean, he looked great against Keith Thurman, but as time continues to go on, he continues to get older. It was tough to really fight a guy like you guys, who I believe is actually a decent fighter. And you only had like 11 days to prepare for him, so I wasn't that surprised that he actually lost because you guys had the reach on him. He had the longest time to prepare and things like that. And he's not a bad fighter. He had a controversial loss against Sean Porter. You know what I mean? So, but with Pacquiao, I would like to think that I would like to hope that he want to go off on an L. But at the same time, I mean, Pacquiao, what else do you have to what else do you have to prove? One of the best boxers of all time. I definitely have him in my top 10 of all time. So I believe if Pacquiao says he's done, he's done. I can definitely see him. I could definitely see him staying retired. But at the same time, I know Pacquiao said he wanted to retire years ago, and he kept fighting because he kept winning. So I'm gonna say it's an 85-15%. So 85% he's done, 15% he's if he gets a shot at somebody else, if he gets a shot against a top competitor, he'll come back.
Look, I think it's over for the 42-year-old Manny Pacquiao. I hope it's over just because I don't want to see him get knocked out. I don't want to see him get hurt in the ring. He didn't look good at all against you guys. He said he was cramping. I think it was more to that. He went out on his shield like Deontay Wilder. Remember, he was supposed to fight Spence. He was talking about maybe Crawford. But if he comes back, I see him fighting Mikey Garcia. If he comes back, stay away from Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. But I see him coming back to fight Mikey Garcia. If he comes back, I don't think it's going to happen. Sean and Carrion, but great career, one of the best ever. In some circles, top 5 boxer ever. Who knows? We'll see how the cards play out. But Manny Pacquiao, definitely one of the best athletes of all time. Look, this was the Combat Sports Podcast. Thank you for joining me, Sean Fowler, Carrion, Henry. You guys did a heck of a job breaking down these topics. Again, we are presented by Your Future Media and the Level 1 Game Room. Thank you guys for joining me.
Thank you.
Thank you.